Jesus more.
And dear friends, one of the greatest growing industries in the world is now this online shopping. Um, we've had different people have had different experiences of online shopping. Others have given up because they don't get the right things. Others still keep going because at times you just walk on luck. You might get the right things that you bought, things that you paid for. You could get it, but there are times you pay for something and you don't get exactly what you paid for. And this really is the way they deal with people, the way you see these things online and you feel so attracted to it because they make it to catch your attention. It looks very beautiful and you feel this is worth it. And you look at the price, you say, yeah, I want to get this thing. But then when it comes, then you realize it's not the way it appeared online. And at times we get very disappointed and we try again. We don't stop. We keep searching and searching and searching. And we realize that the way it appears is not the way you see it physically. And Jesus warns us about investing on the things of this world. And of course, the things of this world, they always seem, the way they seem, it's very all wonderful. But at times we also realize that we are going to pass by one day. We are going to pass over one day, and we leave these things behind. It just reminds us that, I think this is the obvious interpretation to this text, that we don't have to hold on to the things or invest in the things that we know is not going to be very secured forever. Even when we're doing business, we want to do business in a company or in an organization which we know is very secured and that whatever thing we are investing is going to make some sense, that we are assured that we are going to get back that thing. We don't want to invest in something that in a company we know it can close down very soon or anything can happen to it. No, we don't want to risk and put our money there. So, and this is what Jesus talks about today in the gospel. He says, let us store up our treasure, not upon the things of this world where things can be destroyed, but in heaven. In heaven. It says, where our hearts would be, there, where our treasures would be, there would our hearts would be. And I was just thinking for a minute about that statement. I just thought, how do I know if my heart is in the things of this world or in the things of heaven? How do I know where my treasure is? At times when we go to prayer, there are things that begin to pass in our minds. Like when we are praying the rosary, for instance, things begin to go through our minds. Things we were not prepared to come. We just have some intrusive thoughts, as some spiritual writers would say. Inordinate attachments, like Ignatius of Loyola would say that, inordinate attachments, they begin to come through our thoughts and it distracts us. It makes us, instead of meditating or contemplating the mysteries of the rosary, we realize our minds are wandering. Now, it's important for us to pay attention to that, because one way it could tell us or remind us of the things that we have to pray for, but also those things that come into our minds most of the time would be the things that we are attached to, would be about our treasures, becomes the treasures, that things that our hearts are so clings to. That is why they keep coming into our minds. And if we are attached to Christ, then it's much easier to focus on our prayers, to focus on the mysteries of the rosary, because He is the center and He is our treasure. When they talk about the things are transitory, the things of this life are transitory, I just thought again that it is not really the things that are transitory or that they are temporal. For instance, if I get a piece of land, that land is not temporal, it's permanent. But I am not permanent. It's not about the things passing through, or that is transitory, or is not permanent, it's temporal. No, I am the one who is temporal. Because at times when we treasure this land, we will die and leave it behind. When we treasure the money that we have, we die and leave it behind. It's not about the things, but it's about ourselves. And therefore, what is the wisdom behind it? St. Paul says in his letter to the Colossians that if we have risen with Christ, Colossians chapter 3 verse 1, if we have risen with Christ, then we must seek the things that are above, where Christ sits at the right hand of the Father. It says we must seek the things of heaven and not the things that are upon this world, because we know not the things in the world are transitory, but we ourselves are passing. We ourselves are temporal. We're not going to be permanently here. So it's important therefore to invest in a place where you know you have your permanent residence. Okay? If I have my permanent residence here in the Philippines, if I try to start to invest, buying cars and buying houses here in the Philippines, and I know I just have a temporal visa, it does not make sense. I want to invest in a place where I know I would permanently go to. That's why even Filipinos who are abroad, they want to invest back at home because they know at some point they will come home and then they will stay. It's the same thing with our lives. Jesus, our lives in this life, in this world, and our lives in heaven. Heaven is a place of eternity. It's going to be our permanent residence one day. And Jesus says, let us invest in the things of heaven, not on the things that are upon the earth. Because the things that are upon the earth might last forever. It might last longer, but never forever, but it might last longer than ourselves. So what do we do? St. Paul, at some point, in his letter to the Philippians, when he was in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 3, verse 7, he says that every great gain I have made, I have come to consider as a loss because of Christ. And he said, more than that, I have considered the loss of everything as nothing because of the supreme God of knowing my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And he said, more than that, I have accepted the loss of everything, and I've considered them as nonsense because of the supreme God, the supreme good of knowing Christ. And that is the approach we must take to life and say, it is true, we have been blessed with many things, but we are not going to keep our attention on those things. More than that is our relationship with God, our investments, not in the things of this world, our investments in God and God alone, in our permanent residence, which is in heaven. And that is why Jesus says, let us store up treasures there, because we are sure that it can never be stolen. We are sure that nothing is going to destroy it. We are sure that it is a more secure place to be. It's a more secure place to invest and transfer our goods. So my dear friends, let us continue to ask God for the wisdom to live this life, knowing that it's not our permanent residence. It's a place where we are just passing by. It's a stopover. It is a place of transit. Therefore, let us continue to ask God for that wisdom to invest and to look up to the things of heaven and not the things that are upon the earth.
Kiss us, mother, kiss your children. Bring God's blessings from above. With your mantle blue enfold us in your gentle holy love. See the darkness dissipating, hear the trumpet echoing, Satan's rage